Hi, Ian Roberts and Mastering Composition. So this week I'm going to show you how to set up a still life. I had a number of people asking me about that, and really what I'm going to look at is how do you structure a still life, because underlying every painting is the compositional structure. And just about the most important thing is what is the horizontal and what is the vertical, and how do you create your center of interest at their intersection. And I'm going to go into that this time. Now, still life is a great way of looking at it, because looking at the whole idea of compositional structure, because you've got control of everything. You've got control of the objects you're going to use, of the setting, of the scale, of the angle, of the lighting, pretty much everything, right? So I'm going to show you a series of images, each one adding a layer of structure and density and interest, because really our paintings are about drama, about structure and a contrast, and we need to bring those into the image. So I'm going to show you that progression now. So there's our empty studio space, and I'm going to add a brown board to the tabletop to create sort of a mid-tone neutral color. Here I've put a black background to create good contrast, and put a cloth and formed it. And now you can see the role the light is playing, because there's a strong single source of light coming, raking across the table that is creating some interesting shadow shapes on the cloth. And we are also now getting the entry vertically into the image. So we're starting to build the structure. Then I'm adding the vertical of the vase. You can see I've cropped it off, so I'm just getting this shape in here. This cloth now has gone out here, but it's still coming like this. So now we're already seeing the structure of the horizontal and the vertical. Now I'm adding an old tarnished silver bowl. And notice how the three oranges all sit at exactly the same sort of size in sort of the same place at the bottom of the bowl. So I'm going to change that. So then I've just added the orange here, and we have the vertical, the horizontal, and the center of interest will really be the light hitting here and along the edge of the orange. Now this gives you a sense of what happens when I just turn on all the studio lights and remove the single strong source of light. It becomes a good deal less interesting. So here are the same objects, but now the cloth is sort of in the middle and the orange has been moved over, and it doesn't have the same sense of sort of overlap and containment as the one I had just done. I tried it with pears too, and I really liked the shape of the pears there, but I just think the orange perhaps works better. There'd be something here that could work. Maybe without that blue vase, it could be quite interesting with a different color, dark green or something. But I think the oranges work better with this arrangement. So there's the final arrangement and the steps leading up to that structure. And so there's the drawing, and I did it pretty dark because this is almost jet black in real life, and I really wanted to get the sense of the density in the whole thing. But you can see the structure of vertical, horizontal, leading us here to the center of interest. And then we've also kind of got the secondary pull to that orange up there, but it isn't as strong as this. And I've completely diminished the sense of light back on that little handle there, so it just kind of gets lost in the shadows. Now you might ask, but Ian, doesn't that start to get sort of formulistic if you just do this horizontal vertical meeting there? And it's a little bit like that chord progression in music of C, G, and D. There have been thousands of hit songs using those three chords. And you don't look at them and think, oh, that sounds like the other one. There's just a way to re-enliven those three virtually infinitely now, because you still hear hit songs with those three chords and you say, oh, I like that song. It's not the formula, it's not the constraint of this horizontal and vertical leading to a center of interest. That's a constraint, it's true, but it's a constraint that gives structure to your paintings. But then you can enliven that in every imaginable way, virtually infinitely. So I'm going to show you three other of my still lifes, using that same idea. So you see there's the vertical, the horizontal, leading to the center of interest. And you've also got this secondary motion coming in like that. So here we see the horizontal, we see the vertical obviously here, and then these shafts of light creating verticals, and this actually following along with it. In reality, I think the whole grouping there pretty much is the center of interest. And then finally, we can see the structure here, bringing us into here. So as always, I hope you found that helpful. Next week, I'm going to be doing a painting of this still life, and I'll show you some of the steps that I got towards the finished image. And I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye for now.